Hello, this is LS for Life. I'm doing a quick video for those who does not know about 10 billion table tennis, or maybe those who doesn't know about 11 table tennis. How do they feel to me? And I give you my observation on that. I'm using obviously one of my paddle, which is my hybrid paddle, which I call it hybrid because it's kind of a mix of having the controller in your hand, but again having the handle to still perform table tennis technique. I use this one nowadays just because I don't play real life table tennis, so I'm not really looking or trying to replicate a full size paddle weight or possible the air resistance. But that doesn't stop me from performing table tennis technique just as if you had a real paddle. Also, this one is lighter, and I was getting some sort of shoulder soreness, maybe because I was swinging so hard, and with a heavier paddle normally playing so long can have an impact. So this one is lighter, doesn't have air resistance, so all that pressure on my shoulder is not there. So I'm gonna hit on 11 table tennis, and I'm gonna kind of speak about it a little bit, and then I'm gonna go to 10 billion table tennis and do the same sort of hits to see and tell you how I feel. Let's start with the video. I'm gonna do some forehand. Oops. So the one thing about 11 table tennis, I don't know if I had got accustomed to, is that it had, to me, a nice sound and the impact feel realistic, or at least it feel like I'm actually hitting something that is live. Another thing that I can tell is that environment on 11 is obviously nicer, as I obviously already played 10 billion than in 10 billion. I feel more like if I'm actually in a real location, which to some extent may help the experience of doing something that is not necessarily real but feeling real. So the environment and the sensation that I feel, like the air, the sensitivity, all that feels like I'm in an actual table tennis club hitting the ball. Okay, let's change to some backhand. What I mean by what I'm saying is, at this point in time, the environment and the feeling that recreates sensation as touch, to me, is here. I will show you my rubber setting as well. So you have an idea. I'm not trying to replicate the same rubber setting in both games. I'm just using what I had already programmed on the game. Just going to do some services that are gonna get returned, but doing pendulum swing right now. And the reason I'm doing this is to see I not don't have the greatest spin, but I'm using as much rotation as I can accomplish on this moment anyway on my services. Now the setting is pro on my avatar, I mean on my AI, so it's gonna return everything. Trying to do a little backspin, which you need to have good amount of rotation to see the ball come back to you. And obviously I'm not accomplishing that, and that's okay. The idea is not to see what I accomplish, it's telling you how I feel, so that you can have an opinion, but you can go and investigate some more for yourself if you are the person who never used one of these games. So now I'm gonna try to hit sharp and down. And some of my chops that I do anyway as a return. Okay, so this is enough here for the moment for 11 table tennis. I'm gonna probably stop the game, I mean the recording, go to 11 table tennis, I mean 10 billion table tennis, and recreate what I did here and speak about how I feel so far as I do any hits on that particular game. So I'll be right back in 2 seconds. Okay, this is a Let's for Life one more time. I'm here now in 10 billion table tennis. I actually forgot to show you my rubber setting on 11 table tennis. I really don't think that matters much in this situation. Again, I'm not trying to compare rubber setting. I'm trying to say I use 11 table tennis with a particular rubber setting that I have feel comfortable with and that I use all the time. And now I'm in 10 billion table tennis with the rubber setting I have decided to use for some time, even though in this game there are many, many settings to adjust your rubber setting, and I honestly don't even know where to start. I just basically took the setting off from somebody who know what they wanted, of who was the designer for this game, and I kind of implemented what he said is what he uses or at a starting point to have a paddle. Now, is this setting the best setting for what I need to do or recreate? I don't know. But my point here is, how do I feel? I know that settings on the rubber may have an impact on what I try to accomplish, but I believe that with what I have, I can accomplish enough to compare. because what I'm trying to compare is the feeling of when I'm impacting the ball, the environment, the reaction that I see or that you're gonna notice on the ball. So let's go and do some hits here. um, the AI is set for all these different levels, like 9, which is a high level. I don't think it goes higher than that. And this is everything that it will do. I think I have it set to do whichever. Now let me just target, see the position, target position, if it shows here what I'm trying to target. I don't see it moving for some reason, but let's go to training, AI. For some reason, I don't know, can get that target location to move. Not sure if this is a problem here or not, but it is pretty much dead center into serving and training everything in the middle, so I cannot change that. So let's get to do some of the hits I was doing in 11 table tennis. As you're gonna notice, the very first thing you're gonna notice is that environment is not what I as a player will like. Why? Because I don't have a realistic feeling being in this red and blue square. Table looks good, but this environment, even though it has a nice sky, is not giving me the vibe of a person who's like on a real scenario or in a real life environment. So that will be one of my first unfortunate problem with this game. Let's try the service. Okay, so I'm gonna try just doing my forehand. I don't know if this thing is not gonna return to my forehand, but I'm just gonna hit the forehand and continue to do that, even though the AI return it to another spot. I may return it back, I may not. I just want to tell you and see how my forehand feels. So forehand hitting, I I kind of like what I see on the speed of the ball, and it has a good um kind of reaction. I mean, doesn't look bad, doesn't do something like weird, but I think the only thing I can say is it feels very light when you hit the ball. Like I don't have a sensation of hitting an object, you know? For some reason, I know that I think you can adjust setting for heptic, but I don't know if that, I think I have it set to what they kind of say is the best setting, or at least I gotta check that. But also, when I'm hitting inside here, and I don't know if this is because of the environment, if I feel weightless, I feel weightless. And I mean, and the impact on the ball it's like when you hit a cotton ball. Like, am I hitting it? It's if I don't, I can see the speed, I can see the reaction, but the sensation in my hand or in my body is like, is am I really hitting something, or this is just of course it's a may believe, it's not real, but the point of VR is creating the idea that you're hitting something that's actually a real um, solid object. So whenever I swing my hand. If I miss, it's like I was just don't give me the sensation like I was really involved in attempting to hit something that was there. I don't know. I don't know if I can explain it, but ball performance after I impacted is fine. I mean, I don't think it's bad. Um, Speed looks good. Trajectory looks good. Um, it's just like I don't really feel the mass somehow. Just a little bit of that. Now let's do backhand. Like you see, it just really nice. Spin really good. It flies up really nice, and maybe you know I can't complain. I think this thing has really good physics, and maybe I do have to adjust something because I can't believe sometimes the ball fly off that much. But if I kind of focus in making sure I try to hit low and proper, um, following the proper rotation of the head, like So I think it fixes why this thing looks very good. Problem is it feels a little bit to me weightless. And I don't mean it looks like it's flying, flowing. It's just my impact on the ball doesn't make me feel like I'm hitting something, you know? I can see it go and so on, but I think there gotta be something done to the environment and to the sensation that you're hitting something solid. And again, I will try to check my haptic on the controller, but like the sound, you can hear the sound, but you don't feel the connection with the sound and the impact of the paddle. Like you hear something, but you don't know what you hit. That's one thing. Now let's do some service on the spin. I definitely think the physics when it comes to backspin here is probably slightly better than 11. Like you can see how the ball react because I'm not good in email them to create better, you know, batsmen. But you can see, I can see and feel that this ball is behaving more like stopping shorter and not going so much forward. Like the backspin do takes effect a little bit more realistic here. Oops. Some pendulum swing with some rotation. You can see how this thing just turns and the ball spin. You can see it. This is nice. Try to do some under hit. So again, physics wise, I can live with this. Even though I'm not a real table tennis player like other people are that they play in real life. But as a gamer, as a person who, play the game, adapt to the game, a person who know what the outcome's supposed to be, like, I will say that physics is good. I think 11th was probably feel more realistic, but they had good physics, both of them. And I think this one has better physics when it comes to backspin. Um, so they both are good. I think if this game can incorporate better environment and also the better sense of touch, like impacting the ball, feel like I'm hitting the air more than anything, because even though I hear sound, it doesn't really. I don't feel the sound, the impact and sound coordination. I mean, I'm not saying that the sound is off. I'm saying that when I hit the ball, I hear the sound, but I did not had a feeling of impact, and that's basically one of my only things to say. That if this change, two things that will probably better this game is better graphics, better haptic. I think from my perspective. So this will be all for now. Um, I'll show you my setting here since I have the time, and I didn't forget these are my rubber settings in here, and these are some other additional setting. Now there is so much mathematic here. That's what I got. I just wish they replicate what they think is the same thing as a paddle that they sell for real table tennis play. I just said, listen, these are the different paddle. You can just pick one of them. It'll be this. I wouldn't change a damn thing, because if I go buy a paddle, those are the setting on the paddle. A lot of people like to complain and change setting, but because if they miss a shot, they think that is because of the paddle setting, and they will overdo their settings just to match they they believe. I believe that if you just say, listen, everybody, this is a default setting for the paddle, confirmed by, let's say, 9 out of 10 people, just use that instead of giving people the option, or just change setting at your own will. Because what happening is that if the game performance has an impact, not the settings on the rubber, you're gonna complain anyway, and you're gonna say, "Oh yeah, well, it's because of this and that." And if you give everybody the same scenario, whoever complains is just complaining because their lack of potential, let's say, or because all because obviously something is wrong with the game. But if everything is equal, nobody should be saying this and that. You know what I mean? I believe that it's okay to give people some options. But at this point in time, when you have 3 million setting to change, you're gonna change setting based on your own experience, because you that day maybe had a bad day, and you're gonna go ahead and change settings to try to compensate. So my idea will be provide 10 out of 9 people to agree on this is a setting for this paddle. If you go buy this paddle out there and play real life, this is like 85% the same behavior. That way, we all have to use the same thing, and there's no complaint about, oh, your settings are off. I went beyond and above what realistic setting will be, just to I can recreate what I think is my potential. In any case, for the moment, LS for life out, and hopefully this video give you an idea of how these two games perform, and maybe you want to try them and see how you feel about them anyway. Take it easy. LS for life out.